What's up? What it is? What's going on this evening? Playoff pro basketball. You guys know what time it is when you see me. It is everything NBA. We have basketball talk about a great weekend, which it was, by the way. Great basketball weekend. Denver storms back into the series. I was completely wrong about what I thought it was going to be. Completely wrong about that. Let me tell you. I thought that series was over. I thought it was done. I did not think that they were back. They were getting back in it. But we have to start the conversation tonight with some breaking news. And that breaking news is no Donovan Mitchell, right? No Donovan Mitchell means this series is over. So no Jared Allen, no Donovan Mitchell. This playoffs, if you think about what these playoffs have been, not just these playoffs, but if you think about what the playoffs have been, right? What have the playoffs been? The team that's been the healthiest, right? The team that has been the healthiest has been the team that goes the furthest. Now, sure, your play is going to determine whether or not you win or lose, but being healthy helps. A prime example would be the New York Knicks. Like, a lot of people talk about how Coach Tibbs is running those guys in the ground. A lot of those guys talk about how Coach Tibbs is running those guys in the ground, and he's playing Josh Hart 48 minutes. He's playing this guy 42. He's playing Jalen Brunson 42 minutes. He's playing DiVincenzo 40 minutes. Well, who else is he going to play? Who else is he going to play? Think about this for a second. 3 of his 5 starters are out the lineup. No OG, no Mitchell Robinson, no Julius Randle. So that's 3 of his starting 5 right there. That means that Hartenstein would be in the rotation, right? That means Josh Hart would be in the rotation, right? And that means Hartenstein, Josh Hart would be in the rotation. That means Miles McBride would be in the rotation. Alec Burke would be in the rotation. So you got 4 or 5 guys that would be in the rotation if those 3 guys were healthy. But then you add in the rotation guys like Bogdanovic. He's out. So no Bogdanovic in the rotation, which, by the way, if those 3 guys in the starting lineup were in the rotation, so now I got Hartenstein coming off the bench. I got Josh Hart coming off the bench. I got Bojan coming off the bench. I got McBride coming off the bench. I got Alec Burke coming off the bench. And I got Hartenstein coming off the bench. That's 6 guys. You think Josh Hart is playing 47, 48 minutes? The reason why these guys are playing the amount of minutes that they're playing, because I don't have nobody else. Who else am I going to play if I don't have these guys? Who else can I play? I'm going to play Alec Burke. I'm going to play Sims. Who else am I going to play? Tibbs only has 7 guys, maybe 8 guys. And I keep hearing the logic that, Tibbs is running these guys into the ground. That's because he doesn't have anybody. If he had other people, these guys wouldn't play nearly. Josh Hart is not playing 48 minutes if he's got 6 guys on the bench that he can go to. That's not happening. But he's only got 2 guys on the bench. He's got McBride, Alec Burke. He can't play Sims. Sims is unplayable. If I got Sims to come in, can I stay afloat if Sims came in for 10 minutes? No, I can't. Sims is a great athlete. 100% he is. But the know-how isn't there yet. It's just not. So I can't play him. Unfortunately, I can't play him because the know-how isn't there. So that leaves me with Alec Burke, Miles McBride, and that leaves me with Alec Burke, Miles McBride, Sims. I still can't get this guy's name right. He was on Milwaukee's team when they won the NBA championship. He didn't play that much, but he was on their team. The point is Tibbs has 5 guys on the bench. That doesn't mean that he's got 5 playable guys. Because again, that leaves me, at this particular moment, that leaves me with Alec Burke, Miles McBride, Shake Milton, right? Shake Milton, Sims. I don't even have enough guys to practice. And now Cleveland is in a precarious situation because Donovan Mitchell is out for game 4. I didn't think Cleveland would win another game in this series anyway, off the strength that what Cleveland did in game 2 what I feel like Miami did in game 2. It was going to take that kind of Herculean effort to at least be in the series. And I didn't think that they could keep that up. I didn't. So now you take out their leading scorer, right? Their leading scorer, and I believe their leading assist man, or their second leading assist man. You take him out the lineup. Their leading assist man, their leading scorer, and their steals leader. Take him out the lineup. What kind of shot do you give Cleveland against Boston, who's basically been picked to win the world championship this year? I don't give them much of a shot. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. The Boston Celtics basically play down to the competition. Not in this particular situation, they don't. No. They know better than to let these guys hang around. They know better. This series needs to end. We do not have 6, 7 games to toy around with these guys. We don't. So this series has to end, and it has to end now. Like, we're not coming back to Cleveland. We're not. We can't come back here. We got to end this thing tonight. We got to shut this building down tonight. You guys know how I feel about Evan Mobley. And the fact that over, I believe, the last 2 games, he's been averaging almost 20 a game. But the truth is they don't have the personnel, as good as they are defensively, when they're not whole, just like the Knicks, they don't have the personnel to compete. And because of that, they shouldn't win. They should not win. Boston should end this thing. After tonight, Cleveland's season should be over. When we go to, today is Tuesday, today is Monday. When we go to Boston on Wednesday, this thing should be over. Drew Holiday has actually played like a big man. Watching Drew Holiday in game 3 played like a big man. In there rebounding the basketball with the best of them. Not just rebounding. Beating up on their big guys like Evan Mobley. Because he hasn't shot the ball particularly well. In fact, previous to game 3, in the playoffs, not in this series, in the playoffs alone, he's been shooting under 40%, 36 to be exact. 36% to be exact. My starting point guard, if I plan on having a shot to win the NBA championship, he's got to be better. He's definitely got to be better. And he hasn't been until game 3, when he actually changed his game. Went to the rim more. Got on the glass more. Not just got on the glass, played better defense, which enhanced their game. So I think that it's interesting how I haven't really heard much from people about Jason Tatum after game 3. I think that's pretty interesting. Reason why I say that is because if he was awful, right? If he was terrible in game 3, I'm confident that I would have heard it through the rafters, through my windows, all over the internet. Everybody would have just been all over me about how bad he's been. But he goes for 34. He goes for 35 and 13, and it's crickets. It's crickets. I hear nothing. That's what I hear from. I hear nothing. But that's fine. I don't take issue with that. The fact that Denver surprised me the way that they did, they actually look like the champs. That's what they look like. They look like the NBA champions. more than anything. They look like the NBA champs. What they didn't do too many. They didn't do too many more things that I didn't. They didn't do too many other things that I was surprised about. They matched the physicality, which means that they got in the fight. And when you get in the fight and you fight back, right? And you fight back, you make life way more difficult for these guys. So they now get in the fight and they match the physicality. When you match the physicality, now this goes back to what I thought immediately was the Detroit Pistons, right? The Detroit Pistons, not only the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Pistons and the Bulls in the 1991 East Finals. So what does that mean? That means that when we actually stand up to the bully, now you got to play basketball. And when you have to play basketball and you put what we do up against what you do, it really isn't that big of a gap. It really isn't. When you take all the theatrics out of it, when now this is you against me, and now you realize that you're actually going to have to play basketball because you can't rough me up anymore. Because I responded to the physicality. You pushing me around, I'm pushing back. In fact, not only am I pushing back, I'm bringing the fight to you. And when I bring the fight to you, now I put you on the defense. Right? Now I put you on the defense. And when I put you on the defense, now you have to play basketball. You recognize that, oh, man, I can't push this guy around. That's what's going on in the Denver series. Minnesota realizes that, okay, we roughed them up in the first two games. I didn't think that Denver would roll over. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I thought that they would roll over. I want to get to the bottom of that right now. I did not think that they would roll over. What I did think, though, was I thought that Minnesota had complete control of this series, and game 3 was the game to break Denver's will. You had an opportunity to completely take them out of the series. Instead, they stormed back. So how did they do that? How did they do that? Well, your game plan was to make Aaron Gordon make shots. Very similar to what Oklahoma City is doing with Dallas, where they're asking PJ. In fact, they're not asking him. They're daring PJ Washington. You got to make shots. You got to make shots. In order for you guys to win, you have to make shots. PJ Washington said, I see your challenge and I accept it. I see your challenge and I accept it. And he's standing in that left corner and he's knocking down shots with regularity. So now what Minnesota has done with Aaron Gordon is they told him, you got to make shots. We already know what we're going to get from Joker, right? We know that Joker's going to do his best to match the physicality. We know that they run their offense through Joker. We know for a fact that when Joker is, whether he's in the elbow, whether he's at the top of the key, he has the kind of vision that he has and the action that they run, whether it's dribble handoff, whether it's cross action, whether it's pin down, whether it's Joker with a dribble handoff, getting to the rim, and Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot. We know who Joker is. What we're asking Aaron Gordon to do is we asking Aaron Gordon, you got to make shots. Aaron Gordon has obliged. I don't know if you guys know this, but I believe he's shooting over 40% on the long ball in the playoffs in the last 3 games. The last 3 games alone, he's shooting almost 80% on the long ball. When you have a guy who hasn't missed a shot or only misses 1 shot in the game, not only misses 1 shot in the game, is getting good shots, quality shots. When he's doing that, there's really not much else that you can do, especially with Joker getting him involved the way he's getting him involved. When Joker comes downhill and Rudy sees Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot at the rim, Rudy's at the rim, he sees Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot, so he's got to guard the rim. Well, I got to make a choice. And the choice is do I stay at the rim and guard the rim where Aaron Gordon is in the dunker spot, or do I come up to Joker when he's going to hit me with that floater? One of two things is going to happen. He's either going to hit me with the floater, or he's going to drop the ball off to Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot. We have to get communication between all of us, myself, Cat, not just myself, Cat, Jaden McDaniels. We have to get communication between us where all of us can't run the Joker when we got Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot. And we're going to have to live with something. And when because Joker didn't make all of those floaters, he did miss some of them. And when he misses those floaters, we got to rebound. We have to rebound. And when we do that, we give ourselves a chance. But when we don't, we get demolished. At no point last night watching that game did I ever feel like Minnesota did not have control of that game. Even when, not Minnesota, Denver. At no point did I feel like Denver did not have control of that game. Even when Minnesota was making their run. I still felt like Denver was in complete control of this game. Whenever they would cut it to 8, they would cut it to 7. Denver would knock down a back-breaking 3, then get a rebound and get another dunk. They were making plays that were back-breaking to just keep that separation where it was enough, right? It was enough to keep Minnesota away. So now the question needs to be answered, and it's pretty simple to me, and that is, how does Minnesota offensively match what Denver has been doing defensively? How does Minnesota match that? Because to watch Anthony Edwards now knock down the long ball, which I didn't see that throughout the course of the season. He was not knocking down the long ball like that. No, he was not. He played in the mid-range, and he could knock down the mid-range. 100% he could do that. In fact, there was a stretch during the season where he was hitting, I believe, over 47% of his mid-range shots. That's elite. That's elite when you're doing that. But he wasn't doing that on the regular. It was a stretch where he's doing that. Now, the million-dollar question is how does Minnesota's offense, which struggled all year, how does their offense combat Denver's defense? Because Denver actually plays good defense. It's not like Denver plays bad defense. Joker is gonna play defense, and they play really good defense on the perimeter. Really good defense on the perimeter with KCP. The guy that's getting whatever he wanted is Ant. I understand that Cat wants to be more involved in the offense, but they did that in game 4. They involved him. They went to him early. They went to him often. And he looked like the guy who couldn't play through the physicality. He looked like the guy who was fishing for calls. He looked like the guy who was struggling to get what he wanted, as opposed to what Joker was doing, as opposed to Joker struggling in game 1 and game 2. It was him. When they hunted the mismatch, which they got it a number of different times, where they hunted both Jamal Murray, and not just Jamal Murray, where they hunted Aaron Gordon onto Cat. He bailed them out with a lot of shots and foul baiting instead of actually going after these guys. Like he got switched on. He had Jamal Murray switched on him. With having Jamal Murray switched on you, I'm thinking to myself, at 6'10", I got to go after him. In the mid-post, when I'm faced up, because Tim Duncan is going after, I'm thinking about elite 4 men. Tim Duncan is going after Jamal Murray. He's not letting Jamal Murray off the hook. LaMarcus Aldridge is not letting Jamal Murray off the hook. I'm thinking about 4 men who can score. Right? That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about a 4-man that can actually score. Karl Malone is not letting Jamal Murray off the hook. He's not doing that. And I've said, and I said this earlier today to the fellas, that when I watch Rudy, I'm thinking to myself, yo, You have to get this guy more involved. But then I'm thinking to myself, why aren't you getting him more involved? Because it's not like you don't see him. It's not like when he plays that pick and dive with Mike Conley, or he plays that pick and dive with Anthony Edwards, when he's huge in the middle of the paint, huge, you see him wide open. Why aren't you involving him more? Is there something that I'm missing? Is he just not productive? Is he not a viable option? When I watch him dive to the basket and bury Jamal Murray underneath the basket, and they don't even look for him. And Jamal Murray is not even trying to get around him because he knows, well, they're not going to throw you the ball. They're not going to give it. They're not going to give it to you, right? They're not going to give you the basketball. So there's really no reason for me to play defense like that. So I'm thinking to myself, man, is there a better system for Rudy to be in? I don't think so, because I feel like what he provides for them defensively, it's pretty cut and dry how much better they are defensively with him in the lineup as opposed to when he's not in the lineup. I think I think that's something that's easy to figure out. That when he's in the lineup, they're better defensively. The question is can they match? Because can they match Denver offensively? That's going to be tough. That's the part that I'm trying to make sense of. Because Joker and Jamal Murray have this two-man game that once they get that going, they're pretty impossible to deal with. I picked Minnesota in 7. I thought that the longer the series goes on, the more I feel good about Minnesota because I feel like Minnesota's defense just wears on. I feel like Minnesota's defense will wear you down. But with that being said, I still worry about their offense. Because when I get Cat going 1 for 10 and 0 for 7, it's not the action. The action is good. I feel like Minnesota gets good action. I feel like the problem is the conversion of that action. That's the $1 million question. Can we convert this action? And that's been the issue with Minnesota. And that's been the issue all year long. That's not it hasn't been the issue I don't think that's been the issue this particular playoffs. That's always been the issue with them. Can you convert? When Denver actually they run the same action. There's this one play that they run. It's the same play, the exact same play that Minnesota runs, where Jamal Murray comes down on the left side of the floor. Joker goes and screens for Michael Porter Jr. He goes and screens for Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. comes off the screen. Joker comes right back and sets a screen for Michael Porter Jr. to crack the long ball. And he's wide open. Minnesota runs that same action with Rudy and Anthony Edwards. The exact same action. It's not the same result because 1, Joker is better. He's a better option offensively. And 2, Ant is not looking for Rudy like that. He's looking to get downhill. So I can say without skipping a beat, I can say with 100% certainty, the action that Minnesota runs is pristine action. The problem is converting on that action. That's where I have the problem. I don't have a problem anywhere else. Anywhere else do I have a problem with this unit. So defensively, I feel like Denver has actually matched the physicality. And now it's just a matter of, can you keep this up? If you could keep this up, I may be wrong about Minnesota. If Denver can keep this up, I may be wrong about them. I'm sticking with Minnesota. I feel like if this series goes 6-7, I'm sticking with Minnesota. But at no point did I feel like Denver was out of control of that game yesterday. At no point. I had Oklahoma City. I had them beaten. I had Dallas beating them in 6 games. I'm sticking to that. I didn't think that Oklahoma City. It's not the physicality that was my issue. I felt like Luka could put those guys in spaces where Oklahoma City couldn't. They don't have the distributor and the playmaker. They don't have the distributor and the playmaker that Dallas has in Luka. Now, do I think Dallas can win the NBA championship? No, I don't. And the reason why I don't feel like that is because I don't think Luka is committed on the defensive end. That's the difference. And you're going to run into a team that's going to hunt him, and not just hunt him on the regular. Oklahoma City isn't there yet mentally to take advantage of that. Boston did it earlier this season when they got down the stretch. Jaylen Brown was on Luka. Luka was on Jaylen Brown. They went after him. They didn't go after him one time. They didn't go after him 2 times. They went after him the entire stretch and made him guard. Made him guard. And when they did that, they ended up winning the game. They ended up winning the game. So when I think about particularly, right, when I think about particularly Luka, who I think that, yeah, I do think that they're going to win this series. But I feel like when you get later on down the line, if they run into Minnesota, or if they run it, I think the Denver, I'm on record saying this, I think the Denver Minnesota winner wins the Western Conference Championship. I think that's the Western Conference Championship that we're looking at right now. So the team that wins ends up playing Dallas, and they're all they're going to do, especially Denver, all they're going to do is hunt Luka. Go after Luka. Continuously put him in action. I think Minnesota's going to do that too. Continuously put him in action, make him guard, make him a liability, which he already is, but make him a glaring liability. That's why I don't think that Dallas can win the NBA championship. Until Luka competes on the defensive end like Irv has and commit to doing that, they're not going to win it. Irv is actually committed on defense. Irv is livelier. The effort is there. His hands are busier. I don't expect Irv to be an all-league defender. What I do expect is I expect him to compete. And the fact that he's actually competing, that makes them so much better. Way better than what they were. Way better. So because of that, I give them a chance. Now, I will tell you this. I had Dallas beating them in 6 games. If Dallas wins tonight, we ain't coming back to Oklahoma City. This series is over. I'm confident that they end them dudes. I'm confident in that. If they win tonight, if Oklahoma City loses tonight, I think that this series is over. I don't think we coming back here. Nope. I think that they ended in Oklahoma City. Even though I got Dallas in 6. So with that being said, the Western Conference Championship is going to be Dallas and the Minnesota-Denver winner. And I think that Minnesota's going to win that series. So I want to hear from you guys, though. I do. I want to hear from you guys. We've had a playoffs that has been marred with attrition. The Knicks are down 3 starters and a rotation guy, so they're down 4 guys. Cleveland is now down with their best player, right? Cleveland is now down their best player, their second best, or arguably their best interior player. So how do they bounce back from this? I don't think that they do. Minnesota has now gotten punched back in the face. They gave those 2 games away. They had an opportunity to bury Denver, and they didn't. Had an opportunity to bury Denver. To beat those dudes both times in their building, twice in their building, in the fashion that you beat them in. We should not have come back here. No, we should not have had to come back here. This series should have been over. But it looks to me like the physicality got matched, and now, with the physicality getting matched, forget it. Forget it. Cleveland's beat up. The Knicks are beat up. Minnesota has now found themselves in a dogfight, which was unnecessary. I don't think it was really necessary. But it's now unnecessary. And they now have a fight on their hands. 2 of the next 3 games are in Denver. You're going to have to win there in order to win the series. You can't win this series unless, right? You cannot win this series unless you win in Denver again. You're not going to be able to do it. Nope, not going to happen. So, with that being said, it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be super tough for them. So, I want to hear from you guys. I'm trying to make sense in what exactly Oklahoma City can do. I think that it's just them being young. I feel like next year they're going to be better. I just think that they're young now, and they're not where everybody thinks that they are. They're not there yet. It's not a fluke. I don't think what they did this season is a fluke. They're not the 19 Trailblazers. They're not the 21 Atlanta Hawks. No, they're better than them. Both of those teams, they're better than them. The question is what can they do to get better? Cleveland, what can they do to get better for next season? How do we improve this roster? Because I don't think that there's a major overhaul necessary. I don't think that. I don't believe that that's necessary. But what I do think is that some changes need to be made. I 100% agree with that. Some changes do need to be made. So I want to hear from you guys. What's going on, guys? I'm interested to know your thoughts on what's going on. What up?
What's going on? Hey, it's real simple. This Denver series is over. I said Denver hasn't played their best basketball right after game 1. They really shouldn't have won. Minnesota really shouldn't have won game 1. Nas Reed bailed them out in the 4th quarter. He was the extra help that they kind of needed to close that game out. Game 2, that was obliteration. They slipped and fall to bust their lip. I see you got cleaned up. I didn't. I looked all old and shit. But game 3, they showed a little bit why they're champions, and then game 4, you saw a point on Aaron Gordon, and you've seen a whole lot of switch ups that I was trying to allude to the last time I was talking to you about them. You've seen the true versatility of this team. Is that anybody can make plays, anybody could play in the pick and roll. They trust Aaron Gordon with the ball. They trust MPJ with the ball. They damn sure trust Joker and Murray with the ball. And they're getting more out of their bench. I mean, did you see Justin Holiday coming in getting 10 points?
I said that a month ago. Mars thought I was crazy when I said that Holiday, he's going to take Najee's minutes. I knew that. I knew he was going to take Najee's minutes. I was like,
you did say that shit.
I was surprised Najee made the playoff roster. I was like, he's going to take his minutes. He's going to make him unplayable. And I knew
you did say that shit, bro. I ain't seen Najee since, to be honest with you.
He ain't playing the whole playoff. The only time he's going to play is in blowouts. That's it.
That's it. He's going to play trash minutes, bro.
That's it. He's going to play a blowout.
That's the only time he's gonna play.
But
I think Denver has basically figured them out. I mean, when you got a team that's able to win convincingly on the road and while down 2-0, you ask me, man, like this is what champions do. Mm-hmm. This is what championship teams do. Yep. They know how to figure shit out. They know how to do this. They know how to lights on, lights off. They know how to cut that switch on, like your cousin always say. They know how to do it, man. And I think Denver has figured it out. And as far as that OKC series goes, it's for every bit of what you said, man. They youth is starting to show, and
It's
a lot.
kids. They just
Yeah,
kids, man. That's
yeah.
all.
You think you can do it? You crazy enough to think you can do it, but
Which
no,
is
you can't do it.
fine. Which is fine. I think it's great that you think that. It's
Yes.
it's like when you were a kid and you run up on your uncle and you think you could rough him up until you actually start
Until you realize that he still got more power than you do.
Maybe I'll see Unc in a couple more years.
Yeah,
I ain't
maybe
there yet.
you need to go to the gym.
Yeah,
Go do your 5 or 6, bro, and stop pushing around.
I'm not there.
Yeah, you ain't there yet. You got to do more push-ups.
Leaf, I feel like with this Minnesota team, what it reminds me of, like we talked about a couple of days ago, where I basically ran up on you ran up on my block, punched me in the face.
Yeah.
But then you came, and then I came back. You punched me in the face again, and I was like, I ain't going nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere. It's my shit.
And now you got to fight me. It's like, oh shit, I got to fight this dude now.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually prepared to fight him.
Yeah. You thought you was gonna get a one-hit acquittal on.
That was it.
And then that was gonna be it. You realize that you're in a battle that's gonna take days and probably months off your life.
Damn, I gotta fight this dude now.
Yeah, you gotta fight. This wasn't gonna be no walk. For everybody that thought it was gonna be a walk, you out of your rabbit ass mind.
I know I was one of those people.
And I was not.
I was one of those people.
I said, even after game 2, the Denver Nuggets can mess around and win the next 4, and then everybody gonna be sitting there looking stupid. And I was right.
You did say that.
I did say that. You damn right I did say that, because this is what championship teams do. They don't just win 2 games on the road, bro, after getting their ass beat at their own home place. They don't do that. Championship teams know how to fight back, and they know how to answer. Now, as far as
a zoo tomorrow night, it's gonna be a zoo in that building.
What in Denver?
It's gonna be a zoo in that fucking building.
I mean, not as much as a zoo is gonna be tonight in Manhattan, mind you. I'm right over here by Bushwick, so I mean,
it's gonna be a zoo in Denver. Joker's getting that MVP trophy. It's gonna be a zoo in that building. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be nuts in there.
Oh yeah, but to get to the Dallas series real quick, and I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna do some shitty shit. I'm gonna talk about some Eastern Conference basketball, which I promise you I wasn't, but I'm finally talk about it. But to get to the Dallas series, yeah, it's exactly what you said, man. Just too young. I think Dallas, even as poor as they shot last game, they're figuring out ways to win games, because they're doing it on the defensive end. And they're doing it, and they're basically neutralizing the others on OKC. Like, yo, SGA, you and you alone gonna beat us. These other dudes, bro, they too young. They ain't got their weight up just yet, bro. Hey, listen, we gonna do it. And plus, Jason Kidd, kudos to Jason Kidd, because he stressed the defensive side of the ball and the others, and getting everybody else involved, which Kyrie and whatchamacallit is doing. And you said it the other night, Kyrie looked like a defender, but that's because he was giving effort. The effort is definitely there. The effort is definitely there. And I think it's starting to come in up here. You're starting to realize, you ain't got to be Kyrie from 2016 right now. You could be that in the fourth quarter, because I personally believe if Dallas if you got Dallas in the fourth quarter and the game is close, I trust them down the stretch. I trust Luka and I trust Kyrie down the stretch. So
more than the kids, more than those kids,
way more than the kids. And I'll go even further. I trust them. I might trust them just as much as I trust Denver. Just as much. Maybe. I damn sure trust.
Why you trust them just as much as Denver? Why?
The reason why is because you got Kyrie and you got Luka Doncic. Now I'm explaining even more. You got somebody in Luka that has just the type of mind offensively that Joker has. I've been saying it, bro. They both one and the same. They both think the same. They both think the same reactions with the basketball out of the post. Out of the mid post, out of the low post area. They both operate the same in terms of their decision making. You know what I'm saying? It's just Luka shoot a little bit more, but the thing is, when Joker, it's time to assert himself. Them 3 dudes on that front line. I need you, Scooby.
I don't think Luka's smart. I don't think Luka is smart as Joker.
No,
No, I don't. I don't think he's this. I don't think he see the game. I know what you're talking about. I don't think he see the game like Joker does. Joker see the game. No, Joker sees the game like Bird sees the game. What I mean when I say that is Joker sees the game 2-3 plays ahead. That's why he's as good as he is. He sees.
So you think Luka is just reacting?
I feel like a lot of the stuff he does is reactionary. Joker doesn't see the game like that. That's why that lob at the rim with him and Aaron Gordon. That's why Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot where it is. That's why Jamal Murray, as good as he is coming off the pick and roll, because Joker sees the game. You're gonna do this. You're gonna end up over here. He's gonna be wide open. That's seeing the game 2-3 plays ahead. I don't think Luka sees the game like that. I think Luka sees the game like, okay, I'm gonna get past you, and I could probably score, but I may hit him. He's probably going to be open. Joker sees the game way different than that.
I would say that the reason being is because I feel like and I go look at the times that Luka and Joker matched up together. I seen them in the games that they played against each other. I seen them kind of make the same reads, kind of make the same vision, like the same passes and the same decisions out of double teams and when they draw the double, they both operate somewhat in the same areas because Luka is all of a 3-level scorer. Right. And Joker is all of a 3-level playmaker because he can make plays from the 3-point line out of the post, bro. Like, I mean, obviously Luka is trying to get to his bucket a lot much more and trying to get to that step back.
That's what I think the separation is right there.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just that. But in terms of their decision making, I think it's a little bit closer. So I do got Dallas in 5 in that aspect. To say all that, but to get to the Eastern Conference, now I'm gonna get real brutal. Now, the Indiana Pacers have done themselves a great service. They've done themselves a great service, bro. Even though they don't do anything defensively, that bench is very productive, and TJ McConnell is very, very, very into this series. And I'm looking at when you got a guy off your bench that's looking Jalen Brunson dead in his eye, like I'm looking at you right now, and saying, yo, you don't have nothing left, and I know you don't. You don't have nothing left, and I know you don't. If you seen, listen, it's a good thing that game was a blowout. Because the thing is, Mars, and I heard Mars had said, yo, they play play 20 minutes. It's basically you gotta take the hit that you can get. You down, you just gotta take this L. You gotta take this ass whoop. Because you're going back home. You're going back home tied 2-2. Now, the thing about this team is you mentioned it's not gonna be no quit, it ain't gonna be no give up, it ain't gonna be no laying down. But the thing is, when you sometimes when you outman, and I think the other kid had mentioned it earlier, maybe Indiana is not prepared for the moment, but collectively, I think somebody on that team is saying, yo, we could do this.
They got to win they got to win tomorrow night.
Yeah. But
I think there's no way. I'm telling you right now, Lee. There's no way they let Indiana out of New York with a Game 7 win. No way. They gotta.
I don't think so, either. I don't think so. I think. Listen, and I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Every reason why I think the Knicks is gonna fall short, whether in this series or the next series, is going to be because of what I've said all along. Tom Thibodeau, outside of the championships, because he doesn't have one. I guess he had one in 2008 as an assistant. Tom Thibodeau is the Mike Shanahan of the NBA. It is what it is. The thing is, the way that he manages minutes is very, very poor. And it's starting to catch up with him, bro. Like
he don't have the guys to do it though, Leaf. That's the problem. If he had guys, these dudes wouldn't be playing as much as they playing. They wouldn't be.
You're right. Now
I got 5 guys, 5 of my key guys. If I had 3 of my starters are out. OG, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle. That means that Josh Hart. That means that Josh Hart, Hartenstein. And who else am I thinking about? Josh Hart, Hartenstein.
DiVincenzo?
No. Yes, and DiVincenzo go to the bench. So that's 3 guys right there that's in my rotation.
Okay.
I still got Bojan coming off the bench. I still got Alec Burke coming off the bench. That's 5 guys right there. Well, I'm gonna get.
I think Bojan might be hurt too.
Yeah, he's done. Done for the
Okay.
playoffs.
So you got Bojan out, Julius Randle been out, OG is not coming back, and Mitchell Robinson is out for 6 to 8. And you got who
OG.
else?
OG.
I said OG already. Somebody else that was injured.
OG, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Bojan. That's four of my guys. Yep, that's 4 of my guys.
Wait. Who's their backup point guard?
It's Miles McBride.
Miles McBride. I thought he was their backup too.
He played the lead too. Mm-hmm. He played the lead too.
So all right. So let me get this straight. You telling me that this Knicks team is down 4 key guys in this series, going up against a team that uses their bench more than anybody in the playoffs?
Yep. And
you're telling me that the Pacers that they gotta win Game 5 just off the simple fact that they're not winning a Game 7?
There's no way they let the Knicks let them out of it. There's no way that the Knicks let them out of the Garden in Game 7.
There's no way that the Knicks no way that the NBA.
Ain't no way they letting them out of there for Game 7.
And listen. I don't want to jump the gun, but I've seen the way the Pacers play and the way that they share the ball. They could get a little bit sporadic with their passing, but when it's on. Oh, it's on. Like offensively, and I think we saw it from them all year. And I think if they're gonna go forward with this team, do you see Siakam resigning there for the long haul?
If they make it to the East Finals, yeah, I think he'll come back because they can pay him. They got his bird right, so they'll pay him the most.
Right. And one more thing before I leave, I don't know if you've been checking out the draft combine. I just want to let you know Zach Edey has placed top 5 in almost 3 major categories, bro, like including a 3.5 sprint and a vertical in a
pass on him if you feel like it. You're gonna make a mistake. That's what I'm saying. Pass
on
him if you want. You're gonna make a mistake. That's all I gotta say.
They're gonna regret this. They're gonna regret this.
Good to talk to you. Pass on Zach Edey if you want. You're gonna make a mistake. I'm not on the fence about that. I heard Taco Fall, and I was like, no, I am not trying to hear that. Absolutely not. What up?
What up, Joe? Can you hear me?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing right. How you doing?
Good.
I've been watching. I've been keeping up with 2 of the series, which has been the Knicks and the Minnesota Denver series.
Yeah.
And from the perspective of the Minnesota Denver series, I'm just so tired of Karl Anthony Towns. Like I'm done with him.
Are you sick of him, Amari? Have you had it with him?
I'm tired of him. Karl Anthony Timid, I call him. Like it's just so annoying to watch him play. Like
he should. Be he should be so much better.
I try. I really do.
Did he trick me, Amari? So before when the playoffs started, how tough he was and how he was scoring and rebounding. Did he trick me?
He did. He fooled us all. Because he almost looks like he's inept in the post. Like after there was one play where he was like, there's this thing he keeps doing where they give him the ball in the perimeter, and rather than setting a screen, he kind of plays for the drive. I don't know what it is. Like he kind of plays for the drive and he forces his way all the way to the rim.
Right.
And Aaron Gordon will usually pick him up. And he does it against guards. So he'll do it against Jamal Murray. Like you have Jamal Murray in the post. He just won't back him down. He just won't push him back. He would then try and face him up. And Aaron Gordon, he looks like he's 6'10", 400. I mean, he has the widest shoulders you ever see of a power forward. He's just pushing Karl Anthony Towns away from the basket, and you physically can see his whole body just kind of melting. He doesn't like the strength.
Right.
So that's why he keeps playing for the drives. I think you also have the other issue. I still think Minnesota can win this series. I'm not as convinced as I was after the first 2 games.
Me neither, but I still think they can. I'm not as convinced, but I still think they can win it. Sure.
Yeah. I think everything they do, in my opinion, outside of Game 3. To be fair, none of these games have really been close outside of Game 1 and outside of Game 1 actually, because Denver came in a bit later, and I think Denver made a run in Game 1 to kind of close it down to about 6. But basically, both of these teams have been in control for the majority of the games that they won. So I don't know what I can read from that at the moment. I think Game 5, whoever wins Game 5 is going to win the series, and that's usually who wins it
Right.
90% of the time anyway.
Right.
And I think with
They-
the only thing Minnesota need to do is if Karl Anthony Towns or Rudy Gobert is not productive, get one of them off the court. That's how the only way I can see it. Rudy Gobert, they're not even looking at him. I mean, there was a play where he had Jamal Murray underneath the rim, and I
Did
was
he
just
have
like,
him?
what?
Did he have him buried underneath the basket, screaming for the basketball,
He's screaming for it, and it happened so many times. He was screaming for it, and then
screaming for the ball?
the one time they passed it to him, he had Jokic on him, and Jokic just pulled the chair from underneath him, and it's just oh god,
Well, that
Rudy.
was a different
Like,
situation, Amari. He basically had him on the block, and they went to him to see if they could get a bucket 1-on-1. He's at his best when it's a catch and go up, not
yes,
like when Joker gets it on the block where he can go 1-on-1 or Porzingis or any one of those other guys. No, we're not dumping the ball into him like he's Olajuwon or Ewing or somebody like that. No, we're not doing that. He's at his best when he's got Jamal Murray buried underneath the basket
yeah.
behind him where he can just dump it into him and go up. I'm thinking to myself, you clearly, I can see him. So you have to see him. If I see him and I'm in front of the TV, if I see him,
They
I
see
know
him.
you see him. You have
They
to
look
see
him
him.
off. They look him off, and it's quite glaring. And to me, honest, I think Rudy Gobert shoots around 60% from the field. I mean, to be honest, at a certain point, he's doing something. You have to give him the ball. Like it bothers me. Like I watched Anthony Edwards come up and really go. It was the same. It was actually another play, and he had Jamal Murray underneath. I'll say this: I give Murray credit. He is battling Gobert underneath there. He is fighting with him.
Which he
And
shouldn't, Amari, by the way. That should not even be a battle down there. It should.
no, it shouldn't be. But Gobert is so limited. It's a weird thing. He's such a skilled defensive player, but he's so got such bad hands. And it's weird because I watched Anthony Edwards basically screen off basically way off the play and just go straight down to the rim, and it
Right.
worked fine. I think one of the things that they're probably going to have to make an adjustment is, in my opinion, I think they're going to have to put the ball more. There's two adjustments that I see Minnesota needing to make. I don't know if you agree. One of them is making Anthony Edwards probably guard Jamal Murray more, and I see that because Jamal Murray has a bit of an issue with being guarded by Anthony Edwards more than he does with Xavier McDaniels. Like it it seems to cause him a bit more issues with the strength and how quick Anthony Edwards is laterally with him. Even though I see Xavier McDaniels keeping up with him and going over the screens, it seems that he can get away from him. He's killing him. I'll be honest with you. He's killing him, but he's doing a damn good job at defending him. And Jokic is now putting that screen and he's closing that gap. Now he's struggling to get through it. So I think they're gonna have to make that adjustment. I honestly think they should probably play Naz Reid more minutes in this playoff series and take Gobert off in certain moments because it's just because he had 5 turnovers in game 4. If really Gobert has 5 turnovers, something is going wrong. Like, why does he have the ball this much? And second of all, why is he making so many mistakes? And I think one thing that Denver's kind of doing is exploiting their half court, which we knew was an issue going into the series anyway, their half court offense. But now Denver's kind of ramped up the physicality and the execution's starting to get a bit higher. I am concerned. I'll be honest with Minnesota. Anthony Edwards, they can't stop him. That's the only good side of the thing. They cannot stop them. Offensively, Minnesota, I think it's okay. It's just that when you're looking at guys like Karl Anthony Towns, it's just that help him. Like I'm not even asking to be number one at this point. I'm asking just to help Anthony Edwards. I'm asking just to help him, and he
Right.
doesn't help him. I get more frustrated. I don't know if there's a possibility of getting rid of this guy down the line and getting somebody that actually wants to be aggressive in key moments. But I would say that with Minnesota, I think Minnesota will score 7. I think it's Minnesota. I think it will go 7. I still like them defensively. I still like them more than the Nuggets defensively. And if the referees change how they swallow the whistle, can be a kind of another thing. The Knicks series, I think it's done. I think the Knicks series is done. I think, in my opinion, I think it's over. I think the injuries, you can see that the way I watched them go out to
They're
that was
dragging. They're dragging, man. They are.
they're tired.
Yeah.
They're tired. And Tom Thibodeau, I know people say he hasn't got anybody, but Tom Thibodeau sometimes is a war criminal with these minutes. I mean, I watched him, Luol Deng. If you remember in Luol Deng 2013, Luol
And
Deng
yeah,
had spinal meningitis. I think he had, and he was playing him 44 minutes a game. But prior to him going into the hospital, he nearly died. Really, get Luol Deng 44.7 minutes per game he was playing him. and he does this all the time. Tom Thibodeau, I think because of the type of players he has, that they're all tough, just gritty players, and they don't mind playing like this, but it will just run you into the ground. And Josh Hart didn't have any legs. Jalen Brunson didn't have any legs. Isaiah Hartenstein went down. He luckily nearly broke his shoulder. Obviously
I
the
thought that
whole
was.
bench.
It looked a lot worse than what it was. It did. It
Yeah,
looked a
he
lot
screamed,
worse.
and I was like, "Oh, that's bad.
Yeah,
That's bad."
it looked a
And
lot worse than what it was. It did.
and if
100%.
he's injured, who's their power forward? Because I'm not sure if they got anybody left, to be
No, they
honest, at
don't.
this point.
They don't.
And
They don't.
like the Pacers, I think the Pacers are going to have this weird run. I think we're going to have to look at the Pacers like a lot like the 2021 Hawks, where
Yeah.
they kind of just went through the East. They're going to lose to the Celtics badly. They're going to get destroyed. But they're going to have this run when they get to Eastern Conference Finals. I just hope people don't overreact to what this team actually is. This team is really a first round exit that's playing above the expectations of two teams that have been critically injured. And essentially speaking, have been able to kind of take them to the wire because one, they're inexperienced, and one, their defense is awful. So I think both of those series are done. And to the Dallas Mavericks and to the OKC Thunder, I have no dog in that fight. I personally would like to see Luka in the conference finals playing maybe the Timberwolves or maybe the Denver Nuggets. I think that would be an interesting thing to see. I like Kyrie Irving. I think that from what I saw in the first round series of them, they play very well, and I liked what they're doing at the moment. And Kyrie Irving seems to be a bit better defensively. I'm not sure exactly what he's been doing in this series. I haven't really been paying as much attention to it, but
he's
honestly,
been really good. He's been really good defensively, which is surprising, and not necessarily defensively as a savant. More than the effort is there. You see the difference in him with the effort. With that effort being there, it's like night and day with Kyrie Irving.
Is that 2016 Kyrie? Is it 2016 Kyrie?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. If that's the case, then they've got a good chance. I don't think that
just from a defensive standpoint, that's what
Yeah.
he looks like. He's committed on the defensive end. Yes,
the issue with the Mavs is I don't think defensively going into the next series that they can probably compete with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I don't think they can compete defensively. I think they're going to put so much pressure on them, and we're going to have to see if Lively can basically defend that rim pressure coming towards him and Luka Doncic when he's being put in action. Because one thing I do like is the fact that the Minnesota Timberwolves at the moment are attacking Jokic when they can. That's what I do like about this series. They are testing his defense. He's playing well for the last 2 games. How long would that keep up? How much legs does he have? And I can see this type of being one of these series is from the Nuggets standpoint that this can make you lose another series because of the amount of effort you have to exert going into this series, because they are having to play very hard and they're having to play very high leverage defense, which I think can carry over. But this is not them. They are fighting physicality and they're going to get beaten up. So I think that's the one thing.
They don't want to play like this. No, they
don't want to play like this.
They're not that kind of chameleon where as Denver actually is. They can play physical. They can play finesse. That's the mark of a championship team that can have different kind of play, that can have different kind of strategies and different kind of styles in order to beat teams. So it's good to talk to you, Amari. I appreciate you, brother. Absolutely,
no problem, Drew.
Man. Yep. What up?
Chill.
What up?
What's going on, sir?
What's up, brother?
Man, watching these horrible Eastern Conference playoffs. That's what I'm watching. Man, can we just simulate Boston straight to the finals?
No, we can't, yo.
Yes, we can.
No, we can't.
Chill. It is a foregone conclusion.
Test. I know you're gonna pass it, but you still gotta take the test. I know that you're gonna knock the test down. I know that you're gonna pass the test, and you're probably gonna graduate to the next grade. Still gotta take the test, brother. I know I know it's a formality, but you still have to.
Oh my God. Oh, this is terrible.
You think I want to watch Cleveland without Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen? You think I want to watch that? No, Minor. I don't want to watch that. But unfortunately, we have to do it. No, I don't want to see that. No.
Man, I saw Donovan out. I was like, out. He's not even gonna try. He out. Oh man.
He can't.
Can we?
The series is over. We ain't coming back to Cleveland. This series is over.
Yeah. And then and then even with the Knicks and the Pacers, it don't matter. Whoever played the Celtics, they gonna get smacked up. The Knicks are hobbled. They only got like 7 guys they can actually play. The Pacers play no defense. Tyrese back is holding together. Every time I see Tyrese, he got on that back brace, so I
Needle and
know he
thread.
not 100%.
They look like they sewed him together with needle and thread. That's what they did with him.
I'm like, what is the Eastern Conference? What is this? Where are the stars? Where is the entertainment? And then on the West, man, I'm hoping Timberwolves make this interesting, because if not, they gonna get smacked up by the Nuggets, and then I don't think either one of those teams have the personnel to match up with the Nuggets. I don't think the Mavs can
Boston.
match up with the Nuggets.
Oh, the winner of this Dallas, the winner of this Minnesota Denver series wins the Western. This is the Western Conference Championship. What you're watching right now?
It really is. It really is.
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
mean, in all honesty, it might. I don't want to say they're the winner. They're going to probably, whoever comes out of that series is going to win a championship, because I do believe that the Timberwolves could lose to the Mavs in the Western Conference Finals. I do. You don't think so?
I think
You don't think Luka could pull it off?
I think as beat up as Luka is, I don't think his defense.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
that his
the other
offense.
thing.
I don't think his offense is good enough to handle that physicality in their defense in Minnesota. I don't think so.
You know what? I forgot. Luka's hurt too. Man, what
Yeah.
happened to these playoffs? Chill. It was supposed to be the playoffs of revealing of truth. We were gonna find out what's really good with the Clippers, what's really
2021.
good with the Suns, what's really good with Philadelphia, what's really good with the Bucks.
It's
And
2021.
all of them got destroyed by injuries.
2021 all over again. That's what it is. That's what
Oh,
I'm living in. It felt like I'm living in 2021 all over again. So I don't know, Luke. I don't know, Minor. I know it's crazy. So, all right, brother. You know where to find me at if you're looking for me.
always.
Yeah, out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's about that time. It was good to see you guys tonight. You know where to find me. If I'm not here, I do TikTok, Good Morning NBA, 9 a.m. every morning, Monday to Friday. And if I'm not there, I'm on YouTube on the panel, 11 to 2 weekdays. Or I'm here. That's where I'm at. And you guys hit that. You guys get notifications. Once you hit that subscribe button, you know that I'm here. And again, before we had a bunch of other people on the channel, we were experimenting. But when you see Chilltown Hoops, that's me. So you don't have to worry about it being this person or that person anymore. Right here. It's just me. So it was good to see you guys tonight. I will see you guys soon. But until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Call your mother. When last time you talked to your mother? If you ain't talked to her yesterday, call your mother. I'll see you guys soon. But until then, take it light, but take it. Good to see you guys tonight. Absolutely. This was dope. I enjoyed it.